Hello, I'm Miranda Kahn.
And I'm John Bachman. Ahead today on Newsmax Now, the first major GOP primetime debate is over and in the books. Allegations of Fox News bias by Donald Trump and his continued threats to run as a third-party candidate, plus a war of words between Chris Christie and Rand Paul, and Carly Fiorina emerges stronger than ever. We'll have extensive analysis starting with Dick Morris.
Plus, Senator Chuck Schumer emerges from hiding only to tell President Obama he's a no vote on the Iran deal. Could this be the final nail in the nuclear agreement's coffin, or will the president's veto power keep it alive?
Plus, an in-depth look at President Obama's drone warfare policy and how it's putting American lives at risk, why one expert calls the president's use of drones military amateurism. This is Newsmax Now.
And our top story today, the day after GOP debate number one. What now? After a night that was entertaining, explosive, and at times even informative, I would say.
It was at times informative, right. And as we all expected, Donald Trump was the main attraction, dominating the debate and the day after discussion as well. Trump backers loved his performance, but those who have been dismissing Donald Trump, well, they say he may have damaged his chances of winning the GOP's nomination. Only time will tell. But Donald Trump made the rounds today to talk about his experience last night. Here he is on Good Morning America.
What was unfair about Megyn Kelly's questions?
Well, I think, number one, I'm not sure, and I'm checking this out. You know, some of the statements you made about the women, I don't recognize those words whatsoever. I mean, we're going to look at that very carefully, but I don't recognize those words.
So you take them back if you did say them?
She came up with words that I didn't recognize, so we'll see what happens. We're going to take a very serious look at it.
And Trump also appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe and said that he had a great time last night, but he felt things weren't exactly even-handed.
I just don't think it's very professional. I do say this, and I was listening to you folks and Joe before. If you're going to do that to me, I think it's great, but you have to do it to everybody else, or ease it up. But you can't do it to Trump. I mean, I walked out of that room and people were saying that was really unfair. And if you look at Twitter, I mean, Twitter, it's all over the place. It's the biggest story on Twitter. It's the number one story on Twitter now about, you know, the unfair treatment. So.
Good stuff there. You know, Brian Maloney from a website called Media Equalizer writes this: with its big debate night in the can, the good news for Fox is that its usual enemies on the left hate it quite a bit less, at least for the moment. The unfortunate side effect, an avalanche of complaints from angry conservatives who thought they might have been watching MSNBC by mistake. Many are longtime viewers who are now feeling betrayed. And we are going to have some of those comments coming up. Some of our viewers' comments who had similar sentiments about Fox News. Also, some of the other tweets out there parsing the debate last night, seeing how everything went. But, of course, folks will need to stay tuned for that.
I was on pins and needles.
You enjoyed the debate last night?
I love it.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. We'll have some of those clips as we continue to talk about that ahead here on Newsmax Now. And in just a few moments, we're going to have our interview with Dick Morris. He was talking about specifically Megyn Kelly's questions, and he feels like, just like the Media Equalizer comment right there, and we'll hear this in just a second, that the moderators themselves were trying to appeal more towards their peers in journalism than they were towards the American people.
Perception's everything. I'm always amazed to hear the different points of views.
Yeah. Let's take a listen to Dick Morris. Well, plenty of sound and fury in last night's GOP debate, but who came away the winner and who was mostly just throwing bluster? Joining me right now, Dick Morris, Newsmax political analyst and author of the book Power Grab: Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Dick, great to talk to you. You say there was a clear bias on the part of the Fox News moderators, and it rivaled George Stephanopoulos, who's faced so much criticism for his moderating duties. He's been sidelined this election cycle. Who was one moderator who you think was the worst offender?
Well, I think probably Megyn Kelly was. But I think that the key thing here is that every journalist individually and every network has to sort of choose between being giving what the audience the insights that they value and appealing to the journalistic peer group that they want to appeal to.
So Dick, you think that you think that the journalists, the moderators in this debate, they were more interested in appealing to their peers than they were to the American public?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I think that they kind of forgot who their audience was, and and the audience really wanted an objective presentation.
Yeah,
and instead they got a confrontational courtroom scene.
That's true, confrontation. No question. No question. The questions themselves were tough, but maybe, at certain points, a little too gotcha style. Now, you have a new column up on Newsmax.com right now defending Donald Trump's debate performance. You say he showed his style and his charisma. He took punches and showed that he can shake them off without effect. He showed that he is a totally different kind of candidate, and that he squarely addresses the need for competence, strength, and leadership. Is this, you think, what is really resonating with the American voter?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's why he's been doing so well. But the next paragraph is there's a big but in that.
Right, and that's where we're going to go next.
I think that his decision, I think his failure to announce the idea of a third-party bid.
Let's take a listen to that. We have that clip queued up. We have that clip queued up, Dick. Let's take a listen.
Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight.
I cannot say I have to respect the person that, if it's not me, the person that wins.
Well, Donald Trump may have been the one raising his hand right there, Dick, but it's really the GOP that has both hands in the air, kind of saying, we'll do whatever you tell us, Donald, because he does have that leverage that he discussed.
No, I don't think that's true. I think that Trump is in the lead, but I don't think he has leverage in that sense. I think that the Republicans are very worried about the idea of a third candidate, and they may be reluctant to support Trump if they feel that he's going to use that momentum and carry it over into a third-party bid. I think Republicans feel that Ross Perot's third-party bid was the reason Clinton beat Bush in '92, and they don't want this to elect another Clinton this time.
Do you think there was any obvious signals that the Fox News moderators and perhaps Roger Ailes may have favored Jeb Bush?
No, there could be that, but I think that it's much more a question of, now we're being admitted to the big boys and we're on center stage here, and we have to prove that we're objective journalists and can get Pulitzer Prizes and stuff like that. I think it was really a kind of vocational bias by Fox News to try to disprove the allegation that it's too Republican or too conservative.
All right, fair enough, Dick. We got to run. We're out of time here, unfortunately.
We're trying to do that.
All right, we're out of time, unfortunately, Dick. No problem. Great to talk to you, as always, Dick Morris, Newsmax TV political analyst, author of the book Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Grab it at powergrab411.com.
Now let's take a look at some of the other top stories today. New York Senator Chuck Schumer says he's opposed to the Iran nuclear deal. Schumer, the number 3 Democrat in the Senate, says he's going to do everything he can to turn other lawmakers against the deal. And he issued this statement yesterday saying, to me, the very real risk that Iran will not moderate and will instead use the agreement to pursue its nefarious goals is too great. Schumer's statement comes as 12 other lawmakers pledged their support for the nuclear agreement. The White House calls Schumer's decision to oppose the deal, quote, disappointing.
Well, President Obama doubles down on his recent comments where he compared Republican lawmakers who opposed the Iranian nuclear deal to Iranian hardliners.
Inside of Iran, the people most opposed to the deal are the Revolutionary Guard, the Quds Force, hardliners who are implacably opposed to any cooperation with the international community.
Well, the president has also drawn criticism for his remarks from both the GOP and Democrats who opposed the deal. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell slammed the president's statement, calling it bizarre and preposterous. Police in Louisiana have now captured the man accused of killing a Shreveport police officer. Grover Cannon was caught last night after a 16-hour statewide manhunt. He's facing first-degree murder charges for killing Officer Thomas LaValle on Wednesday evening. LaValle was responding to a call about an armed man threatening his neighbor. When he arrived, he and Cannon had a confrontation, and that's when police say Cannon shot and killed LaValle.
And stay tuned. Coming up next, the psychology of last night's debate. We know Trump dominated the discussion, but who else really shined? Coming up, Carly Fiorina's reaction to her own big moment and Dr. Ben Carson's answer on America's racial divide. That's all coming up right here on Newsmax Now.